Welcome, everyone. And on behalf of the American Book Center, thank you so much for coming out as we have a little party to present the English language version of Arnon Grunberg's masterpiece, Tirza, in part to help celebrate Arnon's birthday, which was yesterday. Let's have a note. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Arnon. Happy birthday to you. Again, let's do it. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Arnon. Happy birthday to you. Okay, thank you. Mr. Sam Garrett, you got the job translating this book.
Somehow translating Tirza also as a parent, as a father, was added an interesting dimension to it, and that was actually the dimension was a sort of a deepening of the process, especially the impact of the book itself, and that made it actually only more wonderful, really. Just real quickly before I begin, I have sort of two sections to read. Let's just sort of see how I'll read that first section, and if I notice that you're sort of dying of boredom, then I'll stop and we'll do the second. We'll see. No, book launches are one thing he no longer has to fear. There's been a reshuffle at the publishing house. At first they were planning to fire him until they found out that his age made that impossible. The law would not allow it. The law stood between him and dismissal, and in such cases the law was unrelenting. In early April, he was called into the office of the managing editor, who usually dealt only with financial matters and directives from the holding company. A fierce and fickle god, the holding company was. At first, they had chatted pleasantly about everyday matters, the managing editor and Hofmeister, the children, the climate, both financial and social, but also in the more meteorological sense. Global warming merited a subordinate clause. And then on to less pleasant matters. The terminal illness of the head of the marketing department, Moroccan young people who caused trouble, the congestion on the roads. That latter point, above all, was a thorn in the managing editor's flesh.
And I noticed on one of those big websites that sells all the books, I forget the name of it, but they referred to this title as Tirza by Arnon Grunberg and Sam Garrett. So if you didn't know otherwise, you would assume it was a collaboration between the two. How much of a collaboration is there really between you and Sam?
Sam is more a translator who is just doing a translation, and then he's ready and he sends me the manuscript, and sometimes I have a question. I mean, as a non-native speaker, for example, I remember from the part he just read, I kid you not. I thought, I kid you not. I said, who says I kid you not? And then you came up with an example of...
I came up with an example. I think I said something, sort of the characters that Robert De Niro often plays in movies, or this kind of thing. We come back with something, I kid you not. It's also, I think the example was actually my own brother-in-law, who sells insurance in Los Angeles. That was what it was. I'm sorry. Yeah, there we go. How I could have confused him with Robert De Niro, I don't know, but that's right. Yeah, that's it.
I just remembered last year also we had a big discussion about one word in Tirza, the word klootzak. And I think Sam translated as asshole.
Dickhead.
Dickhead, excuse me, dickhead. Although asshole was
That was the thing.
Yeah.
We were
between asshole, dickhead, and then the German translator said, no, it's Arschloch. It's completely different because we are very anal in Germany, and so there was a big discussion about this one word, and that's at that point I realized more than ever that you can fight with as a translator with yourself about one word for days or weeks. That's not at all obvious.
Yeah.
Also, one more thing. Many years ago, as Sam already pointed out, he started translating in '97. My first novel, my second novel, his first novel to translate for me. And at a certain point, he sent me an email. He said, "I'm an ear human being." An oormens. He said, for me the sound is very important, and I wholeheartedly agree with him, because for me also the sound of the language is extremely important.
And do we want to get some questions from the audience, perhaps? Is it time for that?
Two.
Yeah.
Only two questions.
Okay. Do we have any? Do we have two questions from the audience? I saw your hand go up first.
I saw you being amused.
I will repeat the question. Can I explain my facial expression while Sam was reading? And I appear to be amused. And yes, sometimes I am. Of course, it's a bit. It's not that. I think I read Sam's translation in August, September. Sam, can I disclose this detail? Sam is not only a translator; he's also he has a B&B in the southern part of France. And I traveled by train from the Netherlands to visit his B&B. And on the train, I read my own book in his translation. It's completely fresh and new, and I hear different details. And sometimes I always say this: there's like this insistence that you always lose something in translation, but sometimes you win something.
I'd like to introduce you all to Acting U.S. Consul General, Mr. John Wilcock, who has come out on a Saturday afternoon to be with us. We were very honored to have you here. And we're also very pleased that Arnon has agreed to give you the first signed copy of this book.